Thank you.
Good, good. I Before we get going, I'll say I'm hoping you're okay, and I'm not jumping to any conclusions about anything. All right, so
I
let's
appreciate.
let's talk Queen of the Ring. I was super stoked to see you in this movie playing Ethel Johnson, one of the all-time greats. Talk to me about how you became involved with Queen of the Ring.
Well, I got the audition from my agent, and when I read through it and I when I seen it, I was just ecstatic because opportunities like this don't come often, especially for me being in the space in my career in my life that I am, and kind of going through the experience of the evolution of women's wrestling from my own experience, but to be able to tell the story of the women to me that really made it possible for me to be here is to me, it's like one of those once in a lifetime um opportunities. And like, I don't know, just like it was a dream. When I got the role, all I kept thinking was, I don't care what part of this I'm involved in and how
Mhm.
I just want to be in it. And I actually auditioned for um multiple roles, but I got the role of Ethel, which I think was perfect.
Yeah. Um, do you when you prepare for excuse me for preparation for something like this, in which you're acting and wrestling, is it different than your preparation for your matches on a regular basis?
Oh, absolutely. I think obviously with wrestling, it's more of a physical aspect. I think wrestling combines all of those things.
Hmm.
Um, being an athlete, acting, improv, so much goes into wrestling, which is why I love it because I think you get a little bit of all the arts in wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, but the movie was challenging because it requires you to tap really deep into your emotions, and that is an art in itself. And so I'm very thankful for Damaris Lewis, who I got to meet on set, and she really took me under her wing, and she really taught me so much more about acting, like just just on a deeper level. And
A lot of people don't even realize that Ethel and Babs were sisters because of their last name. They performed under different last names.
right,
How close did you and Damaris get working together, playing sisters in the ring?
very close, and we're close now. Like, but we connected instantly. We met
Hmm.
for the first time in the makeup chair, and she didn't know who I was, and I really didn't know who she was, and yeah, it was just like an instant connection with her. And
Hmm.
I think she is such a talented, phenomenal actress, and I appreciate her so much for what she did for me on set and what she gave to me and the jewels she dropped on me. And there was just so much like to be honest, at the end of the day, I I'm a wrestler, you
Yeah.
know, in my core. Now I've been doing it for the last 16 years, so breaking into the acting is very new for me and very uncomfortable at times because I'm new, and I think she could sense that vulnerability, and she just really took care of me and supported me and helped me and guided me. And there were so many times when we were shooting where she just pulled me to the side and just gave me what I needed and helped me. And then yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
I'm sorry, you just kind of blew my head by saying 16 years because I'm still remembering your earliest matches. So it's like, wow, has it been that long?
It goes by fast, man. That's the crazy thing.
It really does. It really does. So this is your biggest film yet, Queen of the Ring. I vaguely remember you being in a Marine movie.
Mhm.
Were you in
I-
a Marine movie as well? Okay. I thought so.
Yep.
I thought I remembered that. Okay,
Wonderful.
okay, good.
And
Good, good, good. Okay, cool. So
actually
is acting so
in there, and it was, it wasn't as, I feel like, emotional is this one.
no, to say the least. But is acting something that you want to do more of? Some wrestlers, we've seen a lot of wrestlers moving into acting lately. It seems like there's been sort of a revolution in a sense. We're seeing more wrestling movies, more biopics, and more wrestlers getting onto the big screen. Is that something you want to branch out into as well?
Absolutely. And I feel like there's a stigma on wrestlers
Hmm.
that that's all we're capable of doing. But I really don't think people understand how multi-talented wrestlers are, and how much of what we do is improv, and how
Yeah.
much of we do is just from natural emotion and our own instincts. I think wrestlers are extremely talented, and we're capable of doing it all. And we've seen that from John Cena and The Rock and so many more that have crossed that barrier and that threshold. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
you
like,
guys do it almost every day. You're acting. It's you get more practice at it at all as than almost any actor working on a regular basis. So,
these are
uh,
like the most unique and like creative people I've ever met in my life.
did you get to do a lot of research into Ethel in preparation for this role? Did you get to speak to anybody who was close to her or anything like that?
What's funny is I knew of their story just from coming into business and being a young Black female coming into this, like, naturally. I just, did my research and history through the years, but I didn't know the extent of her history and BAP's history and Marva history until I did get I'll be honest about that, until I did get the role into the movie, because, you know, for me to give my best, I needed to do a deep dive. And it was when all of that came about that I went deeper into who they all individually were. And oh my gosh, when I talk about, like, just life-changing, motivating, inspiring, like, and it was also during a time where I was going through a difficult time in my career, and I wanted to give up, and I wasn't sure where, if I wanted to do it anymore, to be honest. And
Yeah.
then this role came about, and it reignited everything in me, because gosh, after hearing their story and realizing the obstacles and the things that they overcame, I just felt like, I ain't got no excuse. If they went through that, I can darn sure go through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel the weight of any responsibility of taking on a role like this? You're playing the first Black women's world champion. You yourself, former women's world champion. Do you feel the weight of responsibility of kind of not only playing her, but kind of carrying on a certain kind of legacy?
I do, but in a good way, like,
Hmm.
in the best way. I feel that it's an honor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's an honor to play this role, and to have this opportunity, and to have this moment to tell. And there's still so much more to tell about, specifically Marva, Babs, and Ethel. I feel like they need their whole own other story. But
Yeah.
to even in this capacity, I think it's so beautifully done. I think it's so well represented who they were. Um, it's just an honor for me to, and having such close ties to wrestling. I think it's just beautiful, and it's an honor for me to be able to play her, and let this current generation know who she was, and what they gave and what they did. and I've recently been able to get in touch with some of Marva's family through social media. So I'm
Oh
hoping
wow.
somehow that I get to connect with them as well, and that's the plan for. Hopefully, I can meet them this week. Yeah,
Well,
it's
Trinity.
it's so amazing. Like, it's just really like heartwarming and like touching because I really like I feel it in a different way, I think, because I truly understand the business. And even though it's so much easier now for us because of what
Yeah.
they fought for and what they endured and what they experienced. So now someone like me, decades later, I get it a lot easier. Even though we have our own battles and fights now, my God, is levels, um difference from what they experienced and what they went through. The racism, the fear of their life, the prejudice, not even being able to stay at the same hotels, not knowing if you was gonna die after you left the ring after performing. It's crazy. Being mothers, still having to go through that and come home after being probably beat to a bludgeon in certain matches because they were still working against women who were also prejudiced and didn't want them there.
Yeah.
Imagine, going home to your children after really like somebody trying to kill you in there. Like, oh, it's awful. Like I can't even I can't wrap my head around it, but God, what a privilege and honor. And I thank them so much that they paved the way and they broke down those barriers and did all that for me to be here today and have it as good as I have it today.
Well,
Thank
you have taken that ball and you've run with it. You've been fantastic in the ring, and you're fantastic in this as well. I appreciate you taking time to talk to me, Trinity. I look forward to the film doing extremely well, and I look forward to seeing more from you on the big screen. Hopefully, we get a chance to talk about that as well in the future.
Thank you. Absolutely. I would
Thank
love.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.